The final project, tying it all together. Hello students, I realize that many students do not look at the requirements of the final project until a week or two before the final is due. If that is your practice, I encourage you to consider a change. Most courses have several assignments that correlate with the final. This course is no exception. In Module 4, you will create a lesson plan that has many of the same requirements as your final project. In Module 5, you will create a rubric. While this rubric probably cannot be used on the final, you will be able to utilize this experience to create the rubric for your final project. This slide gives you an overview of the assignment. What is the actual assignment? In simple terms, the assignment is to choose a topic and to create an instructional module. What specific theories or designs must be incorporated and followed? You must use the EDU model of instructional design for the project. The lesson plan should follow the 9 events of instruction by Robert Gagne. How should the assignment be formatted? All parts of the assignment should be formatted using APA style. Final project, the EDU model. Do you remember the difference between summarize and synthesize? In the final project, you will synthesize all of the information you have learned and apply it to the aspects of this assignment. Module content. What is required? A description of each phase of the EDU framework. An overview of the lesson. A description of learner needs and attributes. At least 3 properly stated learning objectives. A lesson plan built around each of the 9 events of instruction. An assessment rubric to measure the achievement of each learning objective. In the final assignment, you are required to use the EDU design model to create your project. The acronym EDU stands for Analysis, Design, Development, Implementation, and Evaluation. According to Allen, the most common reason for lack of successful performance is not knowing what behaviors are desired. I encourage you to review the videos and information in the chart on this slide. They are located underneath the video in the announcement section. Let's look at the analysis phase. In this phase, you will choose a topic. This includes determining if there is a need for instruction. You will also analyze the task. Jonathan, Tesmer, and Hannum provide an excellent article on task analysis. They identify task analysis as what needs to be learned in order to achieve goals. The needs assessment describes the learner, the context of the learning, and the goals, learning outcomes, and learning objectives. So, what's next according to EDU? Make sure to review and utilize each stage as you complete this assignment. What task will need to be completed as you follow the EDU instructional design framework? What needs to be in the lesson plan? You should have an overview of the lesson and 3 or more properly formatted objectives. Specific information and activities that correlate with the objectives and follow Gagne's events of instruction. You should have an assessment plan. The assignment is specific and requires you to create a rubric that will measure each learning objective in your lesson. I want to spend just a few minutes talking about the format of your paper. As you can see, it should have a title page. The title page should have the title of your paper, your name, the title of the course. This includes the number EDU 431, Advanced Instructional Design, the instructor's name, and the date. It should be double-spaced, Times New Roman, size 12. Next, I want to talk about the first page of your paper. Notice at the very top of the page, you will see the title of the paper. This is an APA requirement. It should not be in bold. On the sides of your paper, there are subheadings. These are not required, but they are an excellent way to organize your paper and discuss all of the topics in the assignment. APA reminders. Your paper should be double-spaced, Times New Roman, and you should use size 12. The final page of your paper should be the reference page. Notice that the title should be centered. The font should be Times New Roman, and it should not be bold. References should be formatted with a hanging indent, and they should also follow APA requirements. Tying it all together. Next, I want to tie it all together. This slide compares the requirements of the Dropbox assignment from Module 4 with the final project. They both require an overview of the lesson. They both require a description of the learner's needs and attributes. They both require at least 3 properly stated learning objectives. Must begin with an action verb from Bloom's taxonomy. The Dropbox assignment specifically states that you will plan for the 9 events of instruction with each instruction event clearly labeled. The project for the final project states a lesson plan will be built around each of the 9 events of instruction. The only thing that you see different between these two projects is the thing that's at the top on the final project. Description of each phase of the ADDIE framework. This slide and the next slide contains the references that are used in this presentation. You will find a copy of these references on the bottom of the announcement page underneath this video. I hope that this short presentation will help you as you work on your final project.